Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishers. I am Jim Moyna, professional bass fisherman. In this video, I'm going to wrap up my practice here at Lake of the Ozarks. This would be for the 2024 MLF Toyota Series tournament on Lake of the Ozarks, which I already said. All right, so practice was just brutal. If you watched my previous practice videos, you realize that I'm not catching nothing. And the half a day I had today was no different. I had to quit at about 11:30. I had some sponsor obligations I had to take care of in the afternoon. Practice did go till like 4 o'clock, so I did miss out on some practice time there. But well, all right, I guess I'll just hand hold it. So I missed out on some practice time there, but probably wouldn't have mattered anyways. So what I did today is something I hadn't done a whole lot of. I went out on the main lake, just started running points out there. Caught a bunch of little fish, caught one keeper that came unhooked right at the boat. It may not have been a keeper. It was like a 14 and a half to 15 and a half incher, somewhere in there. And you do have, for a largemouth and smallmouth, you do got to have 15 inches. Spotted bass, 12 inches. So I guess maybe I caught a couple 12-inch spotted bass today, but whatever. That's like no big deal. Although, could be a big deal if I only weigh 4 largemouths and and I'm missing, the last fish. But anyways, because it is a 5-fish limit. So, well, so what am I going to do tomorrow? I rigged up a whole bunch of rods. I really don't know what I'm going to do. It's interesting. The main lake point thing was interesting to me. Every point I went to had fish of some kind. Some of them would just follow your bait and not bite. Other times you just catch little ones, and then at the one point I pulled up on, I did catch. I did have that one that was probably a keeper. So it's totally a forward sonar game, and the fish are. It's so weird because you'll be out there on the point and you'll just see fish all over the place, and and a lot of them are even bass. I think mostly they're little bass, but maybe not all of them. But I mean, you'll spin your sonar to look out deep, and it'll go right off the chart. I had it set at 35 feet deep, and so you spin it, look out deep, and the bottom just fades out into black, so I don't even see the bottom on half the screen. But you see fish like 5 feet under the surface. You'll see one 15 feet down. You'll see some near the bottom. And then you rotate it up and facing shallow, and it's the same thing. There'll be a fish up, 6 feet under the water. Then there'll be one down, down on the bottom. So, and it may be like 10, 15 feet deep when I spin it shallow, or even shallower sometimes. It depends on the point. But I guess what I'm trying to emphasize here is these fish are literally from the surface all the way down to the bottom, and it's really hard to they're just, it's really hard to get them to bite too. You can see them on the forward sonar. A lot of them don't even react, period, which tells me that they're just junk fish. In fact, I had the forward sonar on this one image, and then all of a sudden it started going up towards the top, and I'm like, oh man, this is cool. It's going to hit a shad, right in front of it. It was probably about 20 feet out in front of the boat. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to come up and hit a shad or something right on the surface. And then it comes up and porpoises, and it's a big old carp. So, well, not a huge carp, but probably like a 5-6 pound carp. So obviously, I have some work to do on trying to tell the difference between, what is the image? What is that image? Is it a carp? Is it a walleye? Is it a bass? Is it a catfish? And I've always had those issues. I'm getting better. in certain cases at differentiating, but I'll tell you what, there's just sometimes you just cannot tell. It's just you do not know what it is, because I've caught. Oh, man, it's getting late. I'm tired. I've caught many a catfish that I threw at that sure looked like a bass to me. So, and then I've caught a few. I'm getting better at telling the walleyes apart, but um, anyhow, let's get back on track here. So, I really have nothing solid to go to. I got nothing. I got no solid pattern. Um, which leaves me kind of frustrated, leaves me wondering where I went wrong. But have I really gone wrong yet? I don't know. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm probably just going to fish close to takeoff to maximize fishing time and maximize my chance of maybe trying to figure out, if I do figure something out, I'll have the most amount of time to work with it. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Fish close by. Plus, that part of the lake, it hosts a lot of tournaments, so that it's a well-stocked part of the lake. So it's got to be fish there. But I have practiced in that area, and it was bad. It was just bad. So um, I'm just gonna see what I can figure out. Maybe the coingler I draw, tie something on, and he starts catching them on some bait I haven't tried. I don't know. I hope he's got two of them if that's the case. So anyhow, it's gonna be a tough tournament. There's 150 boats in the tournament, and the whole reason why I'm here is so I can qualify for the Toyota Series Championship. Through the wild card entry. My worst, and what they do is if you fish 4 or more of these Toyota Series tournaments, you can take your best 3 and use those as your wild card entry. So right now, the 3 that I have, my worst finish is like a 75th or 76th. So any improvement on that number is going to work to my advantage. And especially if I get like 50th place in this tournament, that would bump me up that would give me like another 25 points, which should give me the wild card entry. Right now, this is the last Toyota Series tournament, so right now I am, I think, at 20th place. You got to be in the top 25. I'm in 20th place, but there's a lot of wild card hopefuls at this tournament. So surely I'd probably get knocked down 5 positions or more after this tournament if I just let it ride with the points I already have. So I'm here to improve my points situation. I need to get, anything higher than 75th is going to be an improvement. But I think I really need to gain like another. I was just looking at the history from previous years. It takes around, I think like 625 to 630 points to make the top 25 in the wild card. And I think I'm sitting like at 611 right now. So another, another 25 points, like 50th place finish, would probably 90% chance put me in. Now, obviously I want to win the tournament, but boy, based on my practice, I'm not on a pattern. I'm not on a reliable pattern. It's gonna be really dicey tomorrow. So I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going tomorrow. Like I said, I'm probably gonna fish close by to take off, but we'll see. Maybe when I get out there before takeoff, get my boat launched, and maybe I'll feel something different. So, anyhow, anything else exciting today? I got another leaky tire. It's a super slow leak, so I didn't have time to even mess with it. I just put more air in it. And maybe tomorrow afternoon I can look at it and see if I can't find the leak. So so that's always exciting. And then the other thing, so here it was. So I'm like, I got this leaky tire, and so I grabbed my tire gauge out of my glove box, and it measured like a 20 psi, which it's supposed to be like 50 max. So I'm like, so now I'm like, well, I wonder what the other, the tire next to it. I'm like, well, I wonder what that one's at. Which, and you could tell it was fuller. You could tell, I could tell just by looking at that tire. You couldn't hear nothing, but you could just tell by looking at it that it was a little flatter. So it was 20 psi. So now I go, so the tire that's next to it, I'm like, well, I wonder what that is. So I unscrew the valve cap, put my gauge on there, and then pull the gauge off. And all of a sudden, air just kept rushing out of that out of that valve stem. So now I'm like, well, wait a minute. I can't have two flats on one side of the trailer because that ain't going to be any good. So, and I kept like pushing, like trying to jam that little, there's that little thing in the middle of the valve stem, that little button or whatever. I kept trying to jam that, thinking it was stuck and that nothing would work. So I put the valve stem cap back on, drove to a gas station, put air in both tires, and then and this is when I'm driving from the promotional work I was doing for Bridgeford Foods. I was done there, so I was driving from there back to my campground, which was about an hour drive. So I had like an hour drive ahead of me. So about halfway through, I saw this tire shop. I pull in there, and I didn't know this, but those valve stems, they like screw they like screw in there. Well, the stem, but the little thing inside the stem like screws in there. I had no idea. I had no clue. So this guy had this little tiny tool, and he just tightened that thing up, and it doesn't leak anymore. So that's good. But he didn't have. He said it was already. It was just a. It was just a small tire shop, um, just privately owned, and he said he was just about to go. He was already late for his doctor's appointment, so he really couldn't look at my other tire that was leaking. So, but I fixed many leaky tires on my own, so that will be a project tomorrow after the weigh-in. So yeah, about what am I? About 28 tomorrow. So that's, I don't know if that's good or bad. Probably doesn't matter for me. So anyhow, I guess that's enough for tonight. That's I don't know, a lot's on the line tomorrow. One of my goals is to make that Toyota Championship and then do well there. I've missed some. I'm missing more goals this year than making them. So it's really important to me to punch my ticket with this deal. It's really important. A lot's riding on it. A lot, and it's not, you know, financial wise, yeah, a little bit, but just I would say a lot psychologically speaking is riding on this. Because yeah, I mean, I'm ready. I got to break through tomorrow. I got to get it done. So, and like I always do, I mean, I'll put in the effort, but effort does not equal fish. Effort. What do I want to say here? Yeah, effort does not equal fish, but effort is an ingredient to get those fish, along with a bunch of other things. So, all right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Over and out.